So, why so much focus on stress reduction in my programs? Well, stress releases a hormone called cortisol. It's often called the stress hormone. Cortisol is also the leading factor in those mysterious issues with gaining weight or the inability to lose weight despite the efforts that you're putting in. So if you're somebody who's like, man, I just should be losing weight, why am I not losing weight? I'm doing all the workouts, I'm listening to your nutrition advice, and it's just not happening for me. So what is going on? This is another reason why I created this program, so I could provide the information and the accountability to help you reduce that stress. So one of the roles of cortisol is to stimulate fat and carbohydrate metabolism for fast energy. The result, though, of these actions in our lives, when we're not running from animals in the wild and we're not foraging for food, the end result of these actions will be an increase in appetite and will cause those cravings for sweet and high fat and salty foods. It is not about you not having enough control over your choices and saying, I have no willpower, I know what to do, I just need to do it. It's about really fighting your physiology. You right now are fighting your physiology, and you're never going to win that battle. So let's actually address the issue at the root, which is let's reduce those cortisol levels, and we'll reduce hanging on to fat, the mysterious weight gain, those cravings, and we'll really be back in the driver's seat of making decisions that we're happy to be making. Also, when your cortisol levels are elevated, the body produces less testosterone, which leads to a decrease in muscle mass. So your body starts to burn fewer calories. So again, it decreases your metabolism, and you're also not building the muscles that you're trying to build. So you're going to these workout classes and you're pumping some iron and you're working so hard, and you're not building the muscle that you think you're building. So those workouts that you're paying for and getting to, they're not working for you. Some studies have shown that stress and elevated cortisol tend to cause fat deposition in the abdominal area rather than in the hips and that subcutaneous fat. It is the fat that is sitting on your organs, and it really is the stuff that causes very real health problems. So it's not just about losing weight and slimming down, and especially slimming down that belly that we all moms have. It's about being healthy, like really actually healthy, and not risking your life by not taking action on your physiology. So I know we've already touched on this, but I just want to go over very clearly, when do we release cortisol? Well, we release cortisol when we're under psychological stress. So that's work, family, feeling overwhelmed, feeling guilty, feeling depressed, anxiety. I mean, really, mom life causes the release of cortisol. Also, trauma and abuse. When our bodies are under stress is another time that we release cortisol, and that will be lack of sleep, often a sudden increase in activity. You're going to increase your cravings, and it's not because you're working out more. You're actually not nourishing your body enough. So you need proper nutrition plan when you're going to increase your activity, and you need to pair the two. So the other thing is improper nutrient absorption, and that can come from poor eating habits, including processed foods. Your body's not getting anything out of those. So while you might be eating frequently enough, you're not giving yourself enough nutrients. So your body still thinks it's essentially starving. Along with that, there's the consistent irregular caloric intake. You know, some days you're like, I barely ate anything. And then the next day you go out, you're eating a ton, you're drinking some wine. Having that sort of binging and purging is going to cause stress. And with that, it's like we talked about earlier with increase in activity. You're battling your food intake with your activity. You are binging and purging with your food and your exercise. That's something to be very aware of. So the next question becomes, how do we reduce our cortisol levels? And there are a lot of ways to reduce cortisol levels and reduce stress. But today I'm just going to be going over tools and things that I provide in my coaching programs to help you reduce your stress, as well as effectively reducing those cortisol levels so that you can really lose that weight. So as we talked about earlier, It's about finding something that you can really guide yourself into physically. And not only to reduce the stress on your body, you want to get into a routine that doesn't stress you out technically. If you take this big change in your lifestyle and you have to get to the gym, you have to find a sitter, you have to sweat for an hour and a half when you hadn't really been doing that before, and you don't really want to do it, but you know you should, it's not a good place to start from. You start to have real negative self-talk. You feel guilty when you miss your workouts. You don't want to go. You tell yourself that you have to because you're too out of shape. And you're not nurturing a positive relationship with yourself. So next would be learning to nourish your body and understand what your body needs and why it needs it. Find that consistent lifestyle that feels really good so you can stop yo-yo dieting. And all of these relate back to addressing your negative inner monologue and the relationship with food and dieting and body image that you may not even know that you have. So things like journaling and meditation are going to help connect you to your feelings and give you an understanding of how am I really speaking to myself about this? What is my relationship with food and dieting? Where is it coming from? And nurturing that positivity and that loving relationship with yourself so that you see getting healthy as a celebration of what you can do in life and with this amazing body of yours versus something you have to do because you need to fit into those skinny jeans. And then you get to fit into the skinny jeans and feel awesome, right? Win-win. I use power statements a lot once we identify those areas where you're having trouble speaking kindly to yourself or you have a block. We use power statements where you tell yourself what you want to be thinking in those moments and you talk yourself through it, and that really cultivates a mindfulness for all areas of your life. And achieving your goals, it helps you feel confident. It helps you feel like you can handle this and that you know that what you're doing is working. And that reduces a lot of stress. It takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders when you know that what you're doing is working. And if you ever need to get back to it, you know what works. And then from a technical perspective, regulating your blood sugar and insulin levels. So again, that goes back to nutrition, where we are focusing on flooding our body with nutrition as often as possible, clean foods, staying consistent throughout the day, not spiking our blood sugar, learning what times of day we can have what types of food, how that makes us feel. And you want to prioritize your sleep, and that is a great way to reduce cortisol levels. And we get into that. How do you get your body to produce melatonin at the right time, to understand that it's time to sleep and improve that quality of sleep, even if as a mom we can't always improve the quantity of sleep that we get. And the last one is prioritizing yourself and your health and happiness. It reduces cortisol. When you feel good and you feel like you can prioritize yourself and you're healthy and feeling happy, that cortisol, that stress goes down. So if you have any questions about this, or you want to learn more and you want to dive into one of my programs or all of them, head over to my website. It's www.besavagewell.com. There's tons of videos. You can get to know me and see how I work, and you can really dive in and get those results. That's what I do. I get results. My programs are all designed to work for your lifestyle and to meet you where you are and get you where you want to go. All right, I'll talk to you soon and have an awesome day. Bye.